these games today seemed mostly like edgy affairs. I was following the one you were at, obviously, from your updates, and the guys at Manx Footy Blog and Paul Hatton as well. Most of these did seem tight and edgy, including this one. It was Corinthians 2, St George's 1. Geordie's a couple of goals disallowed in this match as well.
Yeah, I think the first one, Frank Jones, was definitely offside. There's no doubt about that one. The second one, I'm not so sure, because a few of the players saying that Sean Quay was holding him. I couldn't see it, and I wasn't too far away, but the linesman put the flag up, and it did look as if St George had equalised with about a minute to go, but it was chalked off. But the other one, there's no way that was going to stand. Sean Doyle started the afternoon off. He scored the first one with a header, and then Chris Bass with the goal for St George's to make it 1-1. And St George's started to play really well, and probably the better team up to half-time. In the second half, Corinthians had sort of sorted themselves out a little bit, but St George's was still chipping away. And then it was near the end where Steve Whitley scored a goal, another header, and I think two big sort of misses for Corinthians. Well, not misses. Darren Kane went on a real mazy run, and it was near enough from the halfway line, and it would have been worthy of a goal if he'd had scored. And Dan Simpson had a good chance as well, but St George's chipped away all afternoon, and Corinthians' defence stood firm, and last ditch tackles, couple of good saves from the keeper. Corinthians have finished up 2-1 winners. I'm delighted because obviously it's my club, and I think it's good for football. St George's are a great side, and St George's will be there when the silverware's handed out at the end of the season. But to see a club that's worked so hard to try and progress in this league, to get the opportunity to play in the final, and such a young team as well, it's a day that they'll remember for a long, long time. And any team that beats St George's has had to have either played well or had a bit of rub of the green. And maybe today, Corinthians had both. They played well in the second half, but that goal that could have made it 2-2, I'm not so sure. I couldn't see anything there to disallow it.
Okay, and thanks to Paul Hatton for the stat as well. The first time since the 2010-2011 season, when the final was contested between Rushden and Laxey, and won by Rushden, I think, wasn't it? That Geordies have not been in the Manx FA Cup final. So that's an incredible run that they've had in that time.
Incredible run, and they'll come again because today when you've got people like Sid Batty coming through, and also Lewis Brides and young lads who have got bright futures in Manx football if they're back here, and a few of the older ones there at St George's will be looking at things maybe. They're still top players. I've watched Johnny Myers over the last couple of games. He's been fantastic. Today he played at the back with Sean Quay, but always a threat with his free kicks and everything. And yeah, it's one of them. I think St George's will just say it didn't happen for us, and they'll move on to the next one. They're still favourites, I think, to win the league. The Hospital Cup starts in another couple of weeks' time. So they're happy. The Railway Cup, we're getting a little bit closer, Ed, because that win midweek has put Old Boys under a little bit of pressure to qualify now. But no, I think it's good for football.
Peel 1, St John's 0 was the other match. Very tight again. Featured a couple of sendings off this game as well, and match settled by a penalty. Yeah,
I was watching this one. It was tight right the way through, wasn't it? It was 0-0 at half-time. Lee Gale scored from the penalty spot to give Peel a 1-0 victory. Danny Lace got sent off for Peel. Johnny Holland got sent off for St John's. They are lively characters, both of them. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what went on as in for the penalty. Not too sure. Someone text us through 166 177. But St John's put up a good fight. I thought they would because they're a good side, and Peel go through. So it's Peel and Corinthians in the final.
Indeed it is. By the way, we've just heard from Chris Higgins on a text. He sent me a message, so all being well, we'll be speaking to Chris Higgins in a little bit. GH Call at Woods Cup, Douglas and District 1, Paul Rose United 6. Bit of context here for D&D. Thanks very much for this message that's been sent through. D&D had 5 key first-team players missing today, including the captain and the vice-captain. Fair play to Pulley, who would have been hard enough with a full-strength team. D&D are very magnanimously saying there. Good luck to them in the final. Officials Ollie Johnson, Chris Taggart and Peter Kane, all excellent today. Assistants make such a difference, of course. More eyes on the pitch for starters, and certainly with offside decisions.
And you've got 3 good officials there. Ollie's a good official, and it's always nice, I think, when a club sort of puts a comment in like that. But Simon Taylor got the goal for D&D. It was half time. It was 3-1. Barry English has started today. He got a hat-trick. Jamie Skillen with one. I think Jamie's just coming back from injury. And Mark Priestnell got a couple of goals. So, yeah, Pulley in the final. Be delighted.
And the other one, again, another edgy affair. Moran 1, Castletown 0. Not much going on until quite a way through the second half in this one. I think Moran scored at a similar time to Peel in their match, actually. Both of those matches were 0-0 until about 75 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, and again, Adam Meelan, watched him last week, and if you remember, sang his praises, a performance that he had, and he took a bit of stick at training because I said he could be a future Ireland player if he concentrates on it. But today he's done the deed, hasn't he? He's got Moran through to the final, and that kicks off 3 o'clock on Good Friday. And the FA Cup has been moved this year. It was moved at the start of the season, and that's being played a week today. 3 o'clock kick-off at the Bowl, so 2 exciting finals.
Okay, Canada Life Premier League. We'll go through these a bit more quickly today because we are going to hopefully speak to Chris Higgins as well. This is about a young Manx side that are away, is it?
Young Manx side's away. I haven't got all the information, but they've done really well, and Chris is buzzing. Right. So yeah, we'll
have a chat with Chris shortly. Then all being well. So Canada Life Premier League, Old Boys 2, Ramsey 1.
Tight, and Ramsey are going really well at the moment because they're looking for every single point if they can stay into this league. And it was only 1-0 at half time. Gary Quirk with one, Dean France in the first team with the second one. Unfortunately, we haven't got Ramsey scorer, but close game, and it's all hinging on this Ramsey-Braddon game. I think who's going to be the possibly second relegated side. So big game to play there, but today good performance by Old Boys to rectify that horrendous performance that they had midweek where they lost 8-0 to St George's.
Okay, Rushden United 6, Laxey 2. This game notable for the fact that there were just 2 goal scorers in it despite that score. Josh Kelly going on the rampage for Rushden.
Do you see the half-time score? It was Rushden 1, Laxey 2.
So maybe a half-time rocket for the guys as well. I think so,
and there was no wind about, so you usually see bizarre scorelines like that. But Liam Cowan in charge at the moment. Joe Walters got the couple of goals for Laxey. For Josh Kelly, he got all 6, 2 from the penalty spot. So well done, Josh, and a great turnaround for Rushden in the second half.
Indeed. Right, Douglas Royal 1, Douglas Athletic 7.
I know it was 3-1 at one stage. I have... who scored? Paul Whitley scored for Douglas Royal, I know that. I'm not too sure who got Douglas Athletics goals, but great result for Douglas Athletic, and Douglas Royal still looking a little bit ominous at the moment at the foot of the table, and they need to see if they can sneak some points somewhere along the line against some of the top sides.
Douglas Athletic scorers, if you want to mention on the show, 166 177, please. And finally, St Mary 7, Braddon 2, a landmark for Steve Priestnall today, the goal machine that he is.
Yeah, first he scored 4. Jordan Cooper, his strike partner, got 3. And the first one that he hit today was his 300th top flight goal. So congratulations, Stevie. He really is a little star in front of goal. Very, very tricky indeed. And James Turpin praised for his refereeing. Today, James is one of the top referees on the Isle of Man, so good performance by him. Unfortunately, we haven't got Braddon's 2 goal scorers. Again,
166 177 if you want to be mentioned. JCK Division 2, interesting match this in terms of the league anyway, and the possibilities that Foxdale could have had, but they only drew 1-1 with Union Mills today, so a couple of points dropped as they were looking to make up ground on some of those teams above them, particularly the ones that have been in cup action today.
That's right, could prove costly. Haven't got any goal scorers, but the games are coming through thick and fast. We get plus 1 hour tomorrow, so we're into the night games midweek, Tuesday, Wednesday. But no, Foxdale won't be happy with that one. They're still in with a chance of getting promoted, and Union Mills again, just showing how sort of unpredictable they are, and all the points shared.
Onken up next. They've won 1-0 today thanks to a goal from Chris Asbridge. That actually puts them top of the league for now. 2 points clear of Castletown, having played 3 matches more. Yeah,
they keep chipping away, Onken, but unfortunately they've got some silly points. And the game I watched against Pulrose, they're there or thereabouts, and unfortunately I think this year they'll just have to look for maybe Paul Henry Gold Cup qualification, but we're miles away from that one. But no, Chris Asbridge got the goal. Good points for Onken. Ramsey Centre will be disappointed once again.
Indeed. And Jim's 2, Michael United 2.
Yeah, reasonable game. Daniel Cooley with 1 for Jim's. Wes Gibson got the other one for Michael United. Stephen Quayle from the penalty spot, and Johnny Birch with the other one.
Just a quick question here for you, Tony. Are there any league fixtures on Easter Saturday?
There are some. We'll work on it tonight. Just to give you a picture, there's 26 clubs on the island. A letter was sent out to the clubs to see if they wanted to play. 4 clubs up to now have said yes, and 1 club has said no, which is fine. That's optional. But the deadline was 3 weeks ago, I think it was. But, if there's clubs still out there who want to play, just flick me a text and I'll get some fixtures on. Love to do it, and why not? It's Easter, why not have a game of football? But I think somewhere along the line, clubs have just forgotten to text in and let us know that they're available.
Okay, Canada Life Combination 1. We'll just run through some scores and scorers. The only result I had thus far in this one was Braddon 5, Colby 3. You've got Douglas Athletic Corinthians, did you say?
I haven't got that one. It's probably on my phone, which is at home.
Of course, Braddon 5, Colby 3.
Yeah, it was 3-1 to Colby at half-time. Jacob Chadwick with 2. And Carl Roberts, our guest last night on Football Focus. You got the other one. So rolling back the years, Carlos.
Indeed, yeah. JCK Combination 2, Maloo with a huge win here against their southern rivals, Castletown. And that man that invariably pops up on the score sheet for Maloo Combi, Timmy Collister, got 4 today. Yeah,
good day for him. And Jordan Kreipner with the other 2. And Robert Mellon got 2 goals as well. Haven't got Castletown scorers.
Ramsey Youth Centre 4, Oncombe 1.
Big win for Ramsey Youth Centre when you look at the top of the table. Oncombe up there as well. 2-0 to Ramsey Youth Centre at half-time. Martin Murphy, Tony Collett, Dylan Parrish and Chris Robinson were the goal scorers.
Okay, Union Mills 1, Foxdale 3.
Yeah, haven't got any other information on that one.
Okay, Ayr United 3, Moran 5.
2-0 to Ayr at half-time, so good second-half performance. Matthew Hollis with 2. Niall Gibney. Simon's young fella, well done Niall. June Killip rolling back the years as well, he got 1, and Andrew Marshall got the other one.
And finally, Governors Athletic 3, Michael United 1. We've just got a couple more messages through here, which we'll just run through before the break. Falky says, not a bad challenge in the whole game in Peel against St John's. Not 2 reds. The ref made it a big game all about him. Don Parrish with Ramsey's goal again today. Average age of 18 again. Still believing these performances will turn into results. Poor refereeing did them no favours. Okay. Neutral fan at Corinthians v St George's today, directly behind the linesman for the disallowed offside goal that St George's got, and it was nowhere near offside. No, there we go.
I was right in line with it. That was offside.
All right.
I was right there. I said I couldn't have been in a better position.
All right.
Definitely offside.
Ramsey are keen to play next Saturday, apparently, but they don't have a number for you, Tony. So you
no problem. I'm on it.
Make a note of that one. Yep. Okay.